welcome to a brand new exciting episode of Video Ditch. It's me, Sam, as always, joined by Nick.
Oh, is that me?
That's you.
Oh yeah, I'm also here. We had quite the crazy and wild experience. For the very first time, instead of us asking someone to do something, someone asked something of us, and we made our first appearance as guests rather than interrogators on the Thought Cops podcast, which should have already come out by the time this episode is released. So if you want to hear something a little bit wild, crazy, and freer than we normally put out,
yeah.
We talk about tastes in gaming, what our tastes are, why we're like that, what makes us tick, that kind of thing in the episode. So if you want to hear that, listen to it. It also has an actual a producer, editor, so the sound quality could be a little better, a little worse. Let me know, and let them know what you think.
Yeah, it was a good time, and I do highly recommend checking that episode out. Coincidentally, though, today's episode is going to feel a little looser than usual.
Not necessarily a stopgap. This is something that we care about significantly, both of us.
It is, yeah.
Why downplay it? Why act like this isn't the most important thing that's happened in the world within the last 48 hours or so?
Yeah, I've been blissfully unaware of news in the gaming sphere, you know? I think I've seen, more bullshit about Phil Spencer.
Yes, don't you feel so free?
Saying crazy shit, yeah. Oh, wait, no, didn't Jim Ryan, the PlayStation guy, he's done, right?
Yeah, and he resigned. Who cares? I didn't even know he existed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, do you think
Sega or Sony of America doesn't make any of the policies for PlayStation, right? It's all Sony Japan.
Yeah, so, I was gonna say, do you feel like they were well represented?
No, it's just performative.
By Americans. Okay.
It's completely performative. Yeah. No one cares about the PlayStation head in America. People care about the Microsoft head in America. Sure, people care about the Nintendo head in America. They like the personality. He's like a Fozzie Bear. Or something like that. With Reggie was. With Doug Bowser, it's mostly like, my name's Bowser. Isn't that wacky dookie?
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Aren't I in the club immediately?
Anyways, Minions is a great film, and Mario will be co-starring this February.
Ooh, yeah! In the sequel. Mario Bros. 2. Do you think if they make a sequel, when they make a sequel, would it just be a numerical one, or would it be like Super Mario Bros?
It's gonna be. They'll probably skip straight to World since they put Mario Yoshi in the post-credit scene, as we all remember, as we all sat in our seats with bated breath, forgetting that it wasn't a Avengers film. When Yoshi said Yoshi, holy shit, I fucking shit my pants with excitement.
Yeah, and they revealed the voice casting of John Hamm as Yoshi. Yeah,
it was really something else.
Mario,
why do you want mushrooms? I like the way they make you feel. Make you feel so powerful.
Lights a cigarette.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good. We can use that.
I do love a good Don Draper impression.
Yeah.
But I guess moving right along, it's October 5th, the night of recording, which is significant. It's episode 20 today here, folks, and that means that this podcast is nearly a year old.
Somehow.
So, yeah.
There were a couple of gaps, but we've become somewhat regular now within the last 6 months?
I'd say.
4 months?
Yeah.
Within the last span of time. So with the end of the first season comes the end of severe irregularity. This new season will be like the fiber you have to take after a night of drinking or a week.
Yeah.
To the point where it pretty much becomes a daily supplement.
Exactly.
Anyways,
it'll become a medication.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. This is the preparation age this show needs.
Exactly. But if you've been listening, thank you. If you've been watching recently, thank you. Anyone that has decided to reach out during the pod, during this lifespan, having us on as guests, being a guest on here, it has been an experience. And thank you, Nick. Because
me.
Yeah, I viewers might not know this, listeners might not know this, but Nick really does a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, I like to think that I bring topics and such to the show, but Nick, he edits, I pay for the soundtrack, I guess. That's my producer role. But, so thank you. I mean that. This has been a good time.
Hey, well, I only do it because it's fun. If it wasn't, I would probably just stop talking to you completely and just vanish from the face of the earth.
Oh, yeah. So,
Thanks for being there. I mean, frankly, yeah, you do keep the whole thing on track. I like to, get in the weeds a bit sometimes.
all right, enough of this shit. Now let's talk about what we've been playing lately, because that's really what today's episode is going to be. The most exciting recent release for us has been Separate Ways, the new DLC for Resident Evil 4 Remake, which, now that we're later on in the year, still have strong feelings about that game. Like, it's still a game of the year contender for me.
It's just crazy to me that so many games came out this year, where this year may be, dare I say, one of the greatest in gaming.
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
I don't know if you've heard that
a shared sentiment
1,000 times yet or not. But
it's like 2007 all over.
As much as I hate agreeing with the mass opinion, it is a lot of really good stuff. A lot of great stuff came out this year, to the point where it feels like, even just March, April was already 2022. Last year.
Yeah, it feels pretty far away now at this point.
It's a lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff like that feels almost like it was made specifically for me, which is the really shocking thing.
I hear you. Has there been anything? Okay, so what since has been like really good for you this year?
Since Resident Evil 4?
Yeah.
I mean,
I have a recent pick that I'd like to talk about. But if you got one, I'd love to hear it.
Street Fighter 6.
I mean, okay, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. The classic.
I mean,
the classic of this year.
That's the obvious one. A real Capcom head.
I mean, they do no wrong.
They are maybe the greatest developer right now making games, which is crazy. I remember when they were doing so shit. It seemed like they completely forgot how to make a game that their fans actually wanted for a long
180,
time. Yeah. Did a 180 after
360. They stopped catering to the West. They trusted their instincts. Something about the Japanese just fills me with confidence.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. There's no one who's a stronger Japanese nationalist than a Mexican man. Did you know that?
Truly. I have I'd tell you a story, but I think it's best off mic. But yeah, okay. So Street Fighter 6. What about anything else, or is that just like the big?
That's the one that immediately came to mind. So now I'm thinking, did I like anything from this year after all?
But
that was Resident Evil 4 and Street Fighter 6 alone are huge.
Great, yeah. I will say one that I know didn't really resonate with you as much as it did for me is Baldur's Gate 3. Still playing through that.
Oh yeah.
People love it. I think it's great. I think if you played as the character that's like completely evil, like uncontrollably evil, I think you'd have a good time.
I don't think so.
But that's also fair.
The problem is that it's a Western RPG.
It doesn't have the whimsy of Divinity that kind of
that
could turn you off.
Didn't appeal to me at all.
Yeah. So
the whimsy that immediately repulsed me, like smelling a rotten egg as soon as I booted up the game.
I mean, that's fair though, because I completely understand that with Larian's games, because they have like a weirdly comedic like bent at times.
Yes, they did.
And if it doesn't land, then it's not fun.
It just, I don't know, kind of reminded me of playing tongue-in-cheek Dungeons and Dragons with someone who takes the game very seriously, but they're still a fun DM. You know what I mean? Like that's very specific feeling of that very specific scenario that I've never been in, is what it felt like.
Yeah, as someone who has played D&D, granted with only a few DMs in my life, I think I could understand the sentiment. But I will say though, Baldur's Gate 3, it avoids those pitfalls. And then after that, a game I think you will like if you give it a shot is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Holy shit!
Once again, just today, someone was saying I gotta play it. So it's the best game this year. I'm like,
it's
goddamn,
up there. I will say it's one of my top games this year. I played through it to credits, I think, like the last couple weekends, and it has just been so good. Like, I don't really know how to articulate it without saying like, oh, it's like peak Dreamcast vibes, but better, Yeah,
no, I know exactly.
I guess, like everything from the visual aesthetic, like the cell shading is great. It maintains a relatively low level of detail, but still being really expressive. You know, it's making the most out of these simple kind of textures. And just everyone's designs are great. The soundtrack is really good.
Yeah, it's Hideki Naganuma, right?
Yeah, so he's one of the artists featured. I think he has at least... I think each artist has like 4 tracks on the soundtrack.
That's it?
But, so every area has a mixtape that plays, and then you can find each track individually as a collectible, and then play that off of like...
Oh, so each area is like... has a designated musician or composer?
Mm-hmm. Like...
Okay,
yeah,
well,
like
if
verse
it's thematic,
hill,
then
yeah.
I suppose I could withstand it.
Yeah, and you could always collect the track, and then you can play it whenever. So yeah, highly recommend that. I think you would.
Yeah, I'll get around to it.
enjoy it.
I'll get around to it. I gotta beat Y2K first, then I can start Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Okay. And I suppose moving right along, that brings us to separate ways, like I was getting at the beginning. Right?
Yeah.
New DLC for Resident Evil 4.
Which
came
neither
out.
of us have completed yet.
Yeah, so this is like
Somehow.
our initial impressions, and apparently you can, like, one of the challenges I was looking through it's like beat it in under 2.5 hours. It's like, okay, this can be finished quickly.
Yeah,
I think
if you
it's
don't
only
care
6
about
missions.
treasure or anything, then yeah.
Yeah, but it's initial playthrough. You're not going to take it slow, but yeah, it came out relatively recently, within the last like few weeks, and both of us picked it up. It's just kind of a rare occurrence on the show, and yeah. What do you
both forgot to play it for a while.
Yeah. But we have a couple hours under our belts.
Yeah, so how far are you,
Yeah.
first of all, before I start saying some wild stuff that you weren't expecting?
Right. So we kind of were talking about it earlier before the show. I was, full spoilers for the first like couple chapters
first
of
10
Separate
minutes.
Ways. No, I did
Ada is in it.
I did the that boss fight with the Verdugo. Is that his name? In the village itself.
The right hand.
Yes.
Or no, the left hand.
Right, and she
The right hand hasn't come off yet.
she like couldn't shoot it at the end. Right. It's like, oh, what the fuck.
Right,
And
because
then
she
I-
had like spores in her cut or something.
Yeah. So I stopped playing after that because I went to go eat dinner. So that's
Okay, so you haven't
where
seen
I'm
the
at.
really crazy thing yet.
Oh, I guess not. I mean, you could spoil it for me. I'm not spoiler
Oh,
sensitive.
well, Wesker was there the whole time
Oh, wow.
in 4.
Incredible. Wesker, by the way, what'd you think of that?
Wesker, for those who don't know, Wesker is a character from Resident Evil 1.
I'm not going to mention
Most famously in 5.
I was just going to ask you what you thought of the reference.
Oh, the complete
total
local
yeah, whatever.
saturation. I chuckled. I'd say that if that's all the reverence they give 5, if that's everything they do for 5, no remake, just that line, I would be very satisfied with that. I would actually prefer that. I think that they should leave it there. Also, with Separate Ways also going a different direction from the original.
Its
little side
tone.
story.
Its tone is something I want to talk to you about.
And,
Go for
and the
it.
story.
Yeah.
It's I could see the events of Resident Evil 5 never happening. The timeline completely diverging, sort of like a fresh start. Because I feel like 5, Capcom is aware is where things kind of got out of hand.
Yeah,
they kind of
yeah.
forgot what they were doing, and now I feel like, you know how Yakuza has the Kiwami timeline that replaced the original timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking now they could
Now we
have
get 5
the,
Kiwami.
the
I
remake
see.
timeline. Where
Oh, okay.
5 is just a completely different game, brand new game, sort of like a Zero type of deal.
Yeah, that's fun.
Or-
I
or some side
I
story.
could speculate about.
Yeah, like a Yakuza Gaiden, to put it in terms you could understand. This is the man who forgot his name would be the Yakuza 5 in the remake
There you
world,
go. Yeah.
based off those events. And then the mainline Resident Evil that's already no longer anywhere near classic Resident Evil, the first person shooter, can keep going
somehow-
in that direction.
Somehow tie 5, 6 to 7.
Exactly.
Yeah, cleanly,
So
yeah.
instead of bothering with all that shit, just break off the old branch, start this new one, do something
There you
new.
go, yeah.
No machete fucking tiki mask zombies in Africa. No zombie warlords with the AKs that take 1 billion rockets
No.
to kill.
No Brooklyn arms dealers. Yeah.
None of that.
Okay.
We don't have to have any of it.
You wouldn't even want the chance to have it, but better. Like they
No,
have the chance to
because
make
it's
it
not
good.
it's not a scary game. in any way. The tone of it, the setting, the colors, everything about it is not cannot be made scary or serious. It can only ever be comical at best. And that was, I think, made pretty clear with 6, the direction it went. Like the Chris sections in particular. Imagine like the Chris sections in 6, but with the same like lighting and models as 5.
But yeah, it's just a military shooter.
Yeah.
Masquerading as a military shooter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I will always advocate for 6 because I think the gameplay is strangely enjoyable.
Sure, the gameplay is one thing, but I'm saying the story.
Yeah, no,
The
story wise, yeah. I will say I've never been more invested in the stories of Resident Evil until the remake of 2, right? I was
Yes.
talking to my housemate about that. I was thinking about the ending of that game, right? When Leon's confronting Ada, he's like, "You and I make a pretty good team, huh?" Like, that's just so, like, such a compelling moment. Like, the realization, the cogs turning, right? This involvement of maturing for him.
That's what they can do with the new graphics. Tell the same simple story, but give it the camera angles, the flash that it needs to really convey itself. You know,
and so maybe I'm just susceptible to that sort of thing.
No, I do think that it's necessary to really care about these characters because the PS1 game, you know, no one gives a shit about the story really outside of the like funny parts or the cool parts.
Yeah.
But they think about like it outside the game. No one looks at the model of the police chief with the girl on his lap, like 5 polygons and a shotgun that looks like a rope, and they're like, wow, this is really emotionally compelling stuff. This really makes me think, what would I do in this situation? They think about it like later when they think about like the whole scenario when they're describing like, oh yeah, that is really cool that they had that scene. That's fucked up. That's crazy,
shit,
man.
Yeah.
This Kamiya guy, he's one crazy guy.
Oh, Hideki Kamiya. Just shitting his pants. And
He's a genius.
he
can shit where he pleases. He can fart so hard he rips through the stratosphere. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Right on. With Separate Ways, so immediately, right, the tone is
Spy movie.
I mean, I suppose, but what do you think of like that flamenco, like fucking Luis dance sequence?
It was very like James Bond spy movie to me.
Okay, that's
like
the vibe it gave you.
Like it gave me a much more a lighter tone than the initial, the regular main story, like something closer to the original game, I would say, which I liked. And I was thinking, like, that makes sense. You know, Separate Ways, Ada is, after all, an actual secret agent. So giving her all the gadgets and gizmos. And like, the grappling hook. Yeah. Grappling hook, all that stuff. It makes sense to me. I don't have a problem with it. And I like it. And I think
I do too.
Having Luis do the flamenco dance to Spanish guitar to the sounds of someone being tortured was a good way to introduce that. To be like, this is not the same as the main story. Ada's story is going to be something entirely different. Because, you know, the original Separate Ways is like a cool add-on, but it's not
I don't think
new.
I ever played it, right? Like Assignment Ada and Separate Ways, I don't think I played them.
Assignment Ada is pretty much just like a speedrun little mission. It's just like, collect these 3 items quickly.
Okay.
With like one new line of dialogue where Ada's like, I have to find these samples or else Wesker's gonna fucking kill me. But Separate Ways, the only thing it added was it let you fight Sadler as Ada for that one scene, you know, where she shoots him and then the next time you see her, she's hung up like Lisa. Yeah. So they added that as a new boss fight. And that boss fight, honestly, kind of sucks ass. It's not very good.
Okay. Well, good to know. We'll see what they reference. You know, I know that I've seen that there's some parts of the original that weren't directly in the remake are now either being referenced directly or like put into this campaign. So that'll be interesting to see the extent of it.
I think it's all coming together. I was thinking, actually, you know how she keeps hallucinating and there's all the mist and shit and she's seeing all the different copies of the thing and like fire everywhere.
Yeah, some Devil May Cry shit.
Well, I was hoping, and I hope that I'm right, but I was thinking that they were referencing the old Mirage and Fog builds of Resident Evil 4 back when it was more psychological survival horror.
Yeah, like that castle demo.
Yeah.
Where it's
like every time Leon hallucinates, he enters a separate world, the one they had to drop because it took up too much space or something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's kind of what it feels like.
That's a cool connection, yeah.
But since I'm already on chapter 5, there's only 6 chapters, I don't think they're going to get into it.
Okay, so you all right, you can do full like spoiler disclosure with me if we want to get through this. If you want to talk about it.
I'd rather.
Yeah,
just do that.
yeah, don't. Yeah,
I mean, well, 5 is, when you get back to the castle, you go back to it after chapter 1, thank God, because, village is fun, but the castle is really where the interesting
so
stuff
that's where most
is.
of the campaign is taking place.
Half the campaign's in the village.
Oh, okay, okay,
And so far,
I
chapter
did
5
like
is the second one in the castle.
okay. I did like the touch of when you're like at the church, you could just like hear Ashley crying. Like,
Yes, I was
like,
going to say,
oh.
the attention to detail when you grapple
Yeah.
up to get the treasure and you just hear, like, racked, horrible sobs. Like, oh, that's a nice touch. That's a nice little thing. Yeah, Ashley's in there. That's right. I tried actually swiping at the wall to see if, like, she
Yeah, to
reacted.
see if
like, who's there? But nothing.
She's
He
no
used to shit
Sokolov.
game.
Yeah, exactly. Metal Gear Solid 3, I'm shooting at him. Ah!
Yeah.
Please stop. Oh,
Yeah,
but
they can't. Kojima, he's just the best when it comes to that kind of thing.
exactly. Yeah, the overall quality of it. So from what little I've played, I love the way that it's reusing, old areas. It feels like smartly designed, like economically designed almost.
When she's like, I gotta go a separate route. You just get a whole brand new map. Like, thank God, it's not just the same shit all over again.
Yeah. But it's still like, familiar enough. Very cool. What do you think of her voice actress? Because I have
So,
thoughts.
I thought for a long time that my game was out of sync or something, or like the refresh rate was fucked up, or VSync was fucking up, because the delivery just wasn't matching up or something with the way she was talking. But then every other character was fine.
Was fine, yeah.
So I don't know if there's something wrong with my computer, if her delivery is just like that. There's something off about it, where it's like I'm just not registering the words being said with the actual movement of the character.
It's certainly interesting. From my understanding, right, it's part of like this initiative Capcom did to have like characters of a specific ethnic background portrayed by like actors of that. And so they had
Here
the
comes
model,
the affirmative action rants. Finally, get into this territory, huh?
but as someone who enjoys like good performances, it's kind of like, why didn't you just hire another Asian voice actress?
So it's the lady who's also her
It's the lady who's
mocap
it's
actress?
her, yeah.
Okay. Well, because Ada had a different voice actress
In two. Yeah, in the 2
Who was
remake, and she
very
was
good.
great.
Who was very, very
Right?
good.
It's because I wanted to talk about how her personality just seems completely different because of how
Very off.
every line is delivered. She's like,
Very
and I was trying
disinterested.
to justify it in my head. I'm like, oh, she's just cool. She's just playing it cool. She's
I
disinterested.
do have to wonder, is there a Japanese dub for this, perhaps?
There is. There
Maybe
certainly
I'll
is.
try it out, but yeah, it's just like, because Luis's character in this setting is a little bit more overactive, I feel like, with what he says.
Yeah.
In his delivery, especially when he's like on the little
When he's like shrill
cyberphone,
and he gets,
and he's like going crazy into it, like the way they have to animate his face to be like, moving all over the place.
Yeah.
Especially compared to Wesker, just completely
stoic. His sunglasses. What do you think
so-
of this portrayal of Wesker before, or unless you want to finish it?
I mean, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's Wesker.
Yeah.
He acts the same way he always does. I can't see someone being like, "Oh, they ruined Wesker. He used to be so cool and stoic, and now he's cool and stoic."
That's because you didn't watch that live action movie. What was it? Welcome to Raccoon
What
City.
the like 80 ones with what's her name?
No. Not the one with not the Mia Jovovich movies.
Oh,
There was one recently. I think it was like a 2019, maybe even more.
oh,
recent.
was this one? They were like, this actually adapts Resident Evil 1 and 2 for real this time, right?
Yeah, and it didn't.
What a shock! What a surprise! It's the same line of movies, isn't it? It's like the same.
I think it was
timeline,
like a
same
soft
story.
reboot. I think because it had Chris and Jill and Leon and Wesker all in the same movie. I think Ada was in it too. I honestly don't.
Too much.
Too much.
Too
of
much.
That movie.
Too much trying to do in one film
Yeah.
for an audience who simply doesn't care. For an audience who's just going to say, I see Resident Evil on the marquee, I don't see Mia Jovovich, I want a refund.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. I only bring it up because their portrayal of Wesker is not cool or stoic.
Is he
It's
like crazy?
Have you seen the Netflix show The Umbrella Academy?
I have not. That's the Gerard Way.
Yeah, the Gerard Way comic book adaptation. So there's a guy, I think. I'm gonna forget his name, but he's like the Ape Man. The Ape Man from that show is Wesker.
The Ape Man.
And he's like this British actor, and he's like a fine actor, I suppose, but I don't think he was the right guy to portray Wesker.
Well, he's like, "Oi, Chris, give me that T-virus."
No, he's speaking in an American accent, but it's just weird. They didn't understand the characters at all.
Right, he's a idiot genius. He's
Yeah,
the smartest man in the world
in
who
those
does
first games,
the dumbest shit ever for no reason.
Yeah.
That's Wesker. I do love DC Douglas. That's probably the only good part of Resident Evil 5 is his portrayal of Wesker. But
Iconic.
you know, whoever this guy is doing it, I think he's doing a fine job, especially the direction. You can't have Wesker with glowing red fucking Sharingan eyes going up to Ada and be like, "Where's my amber?" It won't work. It won't work out in the end.
Oh, speaking of DC,
I don't have it, Wesker.
Yeah.
Get your hands off me.
DC Douglas was the English dub of Yoshikage Kira in
That makes sense.
Diamond is Unbreakable.
That makes sense.
You know, almost bearable, except he calls it Deadly Queen. And it's like,
Well, they have to, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
some insane reason.
yeah, copyright? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what
Maybe
they say.
they're just like, fuck these Americans.
We'll use their
They
references, but they don't
scorned.
get to.
They scorned our
Yeah.
program for too long. Now they like it. They will suffer. They will feel anguish.
All right, on the topic of Wesker, this is kind of segueing into another part of the update was they added free content to the mercenaries, even if you don't own,
Yes.
if you don't buy separate ways. You can play as Ada and Wesker, and they added a new map into
They
the
did.
mercenaries.
The hardest map by far.
Definitely the hardest map. Those chainsaw guys are fucked.
That's why you gotta honestly you gotta use either Krauser or Wesker to really get a feel for it. To even
Yeah.
get to 150, I feel like you have to use Krauser and Wesker to start. Wesker because he just instantly kills everything without trying. You just wait for someone to hit you and then they
Yeah,
die.
you just put your hand up. Yeah, Wesker is unlocked after beating it as like Ada with an S rank. I think any stage
Yes.
is Ada once, and yeah, he's pretty broken.
He's Resident Evil
Completely
5
broken.
Wesker with a
Yeah, that's-
remake
that's what Nick told me.
verse model.
I was like, oh, he's Resident Evil 5. I was like, what do you mean? And then I booted up the game. Oh,
Yeah, he's
okay.
literally doing like Jeet
like-
Kune Do off
Yeah.
some zombies. Going into the crane stance and turning into red mist, teleporting and exploding their hearts. It's just straight up. That's what people want Resident Evil 5 to be. Is just Wesker and mercenaries.
honestly.
Because I remember the Wesker and mercenaries in 4 Mercenaries was pretty close also to what 5 Wesker ended up being. I
Yeah,
think he had everything except for the red mist glowing teleportation. But he had like the thrust punch and he had the what was his special activation? He just beat the shit out of everything and with his bare hands.
right? Combo attack.
I'm pretty sure it was that
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. Did you ever play? I never played Zero, but I know that I don't know if it was in the original, but in the remaster, you could certainly play as Wesker. I don't know if you ever got the chance.
I've never
to.
played Zero. I never even finished the remake of 1, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. Hey, same.
I got bored because
Were you
I have
playing
no
as
appreciation.
Jill or Chris first?
Of course, I'm playing as Jill. Chris is boring.
You think so? Isn't Chris hard mode?
Um,
Isn't that the?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I've heard you're supposed to do Jill first, then it's
Probably,
Resident Evil 2. Whatever. I don't want to use Chris. I'm tired of Chris. I think he's ugly. I don't like him.
Yeah, it's interesting what what he's eventually become in the Resident Evil canon. He's like now
God,
this crazy commando.
Soldier Jesus.
Yeah. Right? Or it's like, wasn't he just a good cop in the first one?
Yeah, he was just like a
special
SWAT team
tactics?
member,
Yeah.
essentially, in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But I guess the steroids of 5 just propelled him into new heights.
Yeah, zombie killing Master Chief, essentially. Or
Yeah,
no,
that's
I
what-
guess
that's-
more like soap or something.
That's what the new Resident Evil 5 will be. It's like Chris post original Resident Evil and then
The new
discovering
Resident Evil 5 is
steroids.
going to be
Like,
Dead
holy
Space.
shit. I gotta keep taking these. I'm never gonna beat Wesker if I'm not roided the fuck out, you know? It'll be Resident Evil in an urban setting. I feel like on the narcotics division.
Yeah, that'd be good. It would just be like
RPD!
Human Revolution.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if they should get the team. Who was it? They made the new Saints Row, and the zombies are like underprivileged class, like a really bad race allegory or something.
Okay.
And all the zombies like, I can't believe the RPD's keeping us down. Us Brain Street brawlers gotta fight for our right to represent T-Virus.
And then the big bad Umbrella Corporation will be manipulating the whole time.
Exactly, like Oltec or whatever.
Like you fools, yeah. Ultor.
Ultor will be Umbrella.
Oh my god.
And Chris will be on a fucking Officer Tenpenny or some
Writes
shit.
itself. Yeah. This is drug money, zombie.
Man, fuck you, Chris.
Fuck you, man. Oh shit. Stars is a bunch of busters. Yeah. That's it. That's the new Resident Evil 5.
All right, we wrote it.
Wrote it.
Yeah, critics say even worse than the original.
Oh shit.
Even more tone deaf than the first version. Well, that's Separate Ways.
Anyway, I mean, do you have any more to add? Because we kind of went into Mercenaries. Do you have anything more about Mercenaries that really
I like the new map.
you?
I feel like I actually have to try, even with Krauser. You know, you can't just pop it off whenever you want and start clawing
With
people to
Wesker,
death.
rather?
No, with both of them.
Oh, okay. Gotcha,
Wesker, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter at all. You can you don't
I see.
ever have to use your power gauge or whatever. You can just win. You can just wait for them to come to you. You press parry and they die
Infinite
instantly.
durability.
It doesn't matter who
insane.
it is or what they're doing. At first, when I was playing as him, I was like, oh, I don't have a knife. This sucks. And then I realized, oh, I have instant kill button. I have literally the fucking no you button.
Yeah.
If you try to damage me with anything, he just kills them instantly. He just snaps their neck.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Pretty,
And then Ada's pretty good too. Playing as Ada in Mercenaries gave me a good introduction to her mechanics. Just the grapple kick and
I do like her alternate costume too.
Yeah, right. Because
Original
that was something that was missing from this remake. You know, it's kind of
the all costumes.
Yeah.
But with the full all loadout too, that's really something nice.
Yeah. There's a certain camp that has been brought back with Separate Ways that I appreciate. But it's not leaning too heavily into it. I feel like it's impossible to lean into it because the VA is so low energy. You know, that's how you end a dance, Louise. Fuck.
God, I know. It's like it is odd because it's got those Batman Arkham City moments where it's like, big guy was here, better follow him. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I can see Batman saying it like that, delivering it like that. I guess they're doing it to the most.
Yeah, it's strange. So now you get cool, disinterested Ada, as opposed to sultry, mysterious Ada.
What an upgrade.
Yeah, take it as you will. It's a side grade. It's not an upgrade, but it doesn't ruin it.
Yes, positivity is key, I suppose. Anyways. Question break.
What's your favorite Taco Bell menu item? Mine's the Crunch Wrap Burrito Supreme. Have you ever had the Baja Blast? It goes wild.
We don't have to clap sync again, do we?
Yeah, let's just do it.
All right, and we're back. After that short break, after that quick question break from our lovely viewer, one of our lovely viewers, rather.
Mm-hmm. And if he didn't like it, he shouldn't have sent me so many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a gold mine. We were talking about Separate Ways, right? I was getting ahead of myself.
What are the questions? What do you
about,
want to know?
Well, I just wanted to I wanted to ask if there was any cut content from the original that was restored. Right? From the original remake, rather.
Oh, no. I thought
right,
you were talking
the
about
missing
original
boss
build.
fight? No.
No, not really. Well, maybe. I don't know. I hope so soon. I feel like... What's it called? D3 or whatever? E3?
Yeah.
C3?
V3.
That thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to show up, it would probably be in Chapter 6. I would rather have a recreation of that boss fight than a recreation of the Sadler boss fight because... not great. I'd rather have the gigantic
shipping container
shipping
sort
container
of
falling,
maze.
scary little whatever. Be
It's
something
crazy.
more exciting.
Like-
They also, you haven't gotten to it, but they
No,
added
go for it.
in a fight with a gigante for Ada
Oh, okay.
to explain why they didn't just have one crush the house that Leon and Luis were in.
Mm.
So you
Yes.
herd it off and kill it with no dog, which sucked. I was kind of
Excuse
hoping the wolf would show up.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But you do get the explosive crossbow 2 seconds before it, so it's not the worst experience in the world on hardcore.
Okay. Another question was like, what difficulty are you doing? Hardcore?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, my initial playthrough, I do it just to, like, get through it. And then I'll ramp it up. 'Cause
And
it's
then you
something...
go straight to professional.
I don't know, I'll go hardcore and then I'll go professional. You working your way up.
I don't know. I mean, I played RE4 on professional on my second playthrough, so I wouldn't really know anything about that.
I'm on like playthrough 5 or 6 of the main scenario. Just various times. But I am doing that run. I'm still working on that run, right? Like minimal saves, S+ rank for hardcore, just so you can get
The
fucking
cat ears.
infinite ammo. Yeah, it's interesting. I made a tiny bit of progress the other weekend, like jumping back into this to play separate ways. I was like, oh, do that.
Yeah, you know what'll help is if you play the mercenaries an insane amount, you get really good at shooting in the leg and kicking.
Yeah, but the damage is so different on like professional.
It's negligible at best.
Right, where it's like,
it's
fuck!
pretty bad.
I am blasting your kneecaps right now.
It's
You're
really
not going
bad.
down. Yeah.
You gotta shoot them in the same knee 3-4 times. Then they realize it's dead. They fall down. You kick them, and then you slash the shit out of them and hope no one else is around.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably be working on that for the greater part of the
Your
rest of the
life.
week. Yeah. We'll see. I could play without infinite ammo. Back to separate ways. Okay. So you go through that. The story progression. Is there like anything cool? Anything that really stood out to you?
I mean, it's already severely different. They're adding in a whole mission where you have to create the suppressant for Luis to give to Leon.
Okay.
Because you
Interesting.
go through the whole reason. It's like, oh, I have to go to my lab, my laboratory. That's where
Yeah.
the medicine is. Get there, it's obviously burned to the ground. So he's like, go give me these 3 things.
Okay.
So yeah, you go
Cool,
through that, and
cool.
I just got to the point where you met Leon in the initial story, where you first
Okay, when you're in that
interact.
like
yeah.
kind of lounge room together, he's
Where
like,
she
knives
points the
are
gun at
faster.
him.
Yeah. Fuck.
So I saw that,
Okay.
and that's where I'm at now, and I'm waiting to see what other crazy stuff they
Oh.
introduce.
Okay. I feel like within the first week of this, probably within like the first couple days of this expansion coming out on YouTube, I just saw like recommended videos. Ada Wong death compilation.
Yeah, Ada Wong, all deaths, 4K Ada Wong deaths, all possible deaths.
That's how
graphic.
That's how I had the laser corridor spoiled for me. 'Cause it's just like an image in this thumbnail. I was like, fuck. But
She's
cool.
like sliced to pieces or something,
Yeah, just like through the face.
like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned it to you on one of the shows, but like I think I did. I saw a compilation of all the fatalities from Mortal
And he
Kombat
threw
1.
up.
No, because it was strangely sterile, right?
Really?
Compared to 11, where it was like pretty gross. Like everything
Yeah,
is
like
so
people
all the
getting
gore is so
their
clean.
lungs crushed, and you see the
right?
fluid build up until they drown or something.
Yeah, like everything was clean is a strange way to describe it, but it was, and so it felt
Like Surgeon
Weird.
Simulator
Yeah.
gore,
yeah
that kind of.
yeah, kind of just clinical, you
Yeah.
know, instead
Like
of
looking at a medical diagram of a car crash victim or something.
right. I feel like that would be worse than the fatalities, hilariously, because it's so neat, and I thought that was so weird, right? Like, huh? Maybe it's because the rest of the game is like really pretty, and it just would clash too much if there was
Right,
like,
we don't
a
want to
realistic.
dirty up all this
Yeah.
beauty with
Right,
this,
it's weird.
this senseless violence.
It's very strange, but just felt compelled compelled to bring that up. Okay, and so Have you looked at any of the like challenge unlocks or rewards?
I have not.
For
I've
Separate
just been
Ways?
going through it,
Okay.
and I'll just see at the end what I missed.
What you got and what you missed, yeah. Have you been doing the requests?
Oh
All
yeah, I
the-
mean, there's only been like 3, but it's like 2 medallions for the new areas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what is it? Find Leon's jacket and
Oh, really?
sell it is one of them.
That's fun. Oh.
Yeah, sadly you don't kill the guy who had it on. You just kind of find it somewhere.
Ah, damn. Wow, that'd be wonderful. When does he lose it? Which chapter? It's just like chapter
Immediately
2.
after chapter 1.
Yeah,
when he
fucking
wakes
hell,
up, it's
when he wakes
missing.
up.
And then in Separate Ways, in the original one, Ada kills a zombie wearing Leon's jacket, and you can investigate it and be like, "This is Leon's."
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, unfortunate that it's not maintained. Is there anything else that you feel disappointed by? Enough. Of
Disappointed by?
Yeah. Was there anything that like?
So far, no. I mean, there's a little bit left, so I'm sure it could still shit the bed and ruin my life. But I'm pretty hopeful so far. I would say I'm actually quite enjoying it.
So the pace is kept up. There's no like lulls.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty constant. There's a couple of stealth segments. Technically,
Okay.
you don't even have to do it.
I was gonna
like
say
that.
like stealth optional. Yeah.
It's stealth optional in the same way it is in Human Revolution, where you can either very meticulously slice everyone's throat, or you can allow a single person to see you. They all immediately swarm, knowing exactly where you are, and then you use your insane firepower to instantly kill everyone.
Yeah. That's how I played through the initial kind of first stealth option.
You can do it. You can still do it.
Yeah, which is great. I love the potential for possibilities, and I always forget in Resident Evil titles that like, at least with the remakes now, like you don't have to fucking kill zombie,
Everything.
right? It's just such a compulsion.
Oh yeah, it's very strong when they're all coming past
Yeah.
you after the church bell rings and they're all like zombified. I actually forgot for a second that they were like addicted to the church music or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hiding behind a tombstone for a long ass time because they just keep coming in.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait, they're not noticing me at all.
When they're like in droves in the cemetery.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And
Damn
they're
it!
like,
I wasted so many grenades.
Coquello.
I was like, oh, there's a bunch of 3. Third grenade.
Yeah, I was about to start blasting, and then I was like, oh, they don't see me at all.
Well, I wasted resources there.
Quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Truly,
Although
like
I will
it
say,
looks-
I feel like Separate Ways. I don't know if I'm just better, but I feel like even on hardcore, it just like showers you with resources constantly. You never feel like you're very much in
very
need.
strapped.
I would feel like if anything, I needed the attaché case upgrades more than anything.
Do you have any keychains or any
No.
like charms on your thing? Yeah.
It costs money, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to get gun upgrades. I don't need that crap.
With Ada's campaign, did they add any new guns?
Yeah,
she
the
has,
blast
the
crossbow.
crossbow, but is that it?
It's from the mercenaries technically. but
Yeah,
it's,
I've used it as heard that. But, okay,
It's the main game edition of it.
okay, because you get access to like some of the secondary handguns and stuff. I
Although,
noticed.
yeah, actually, to be fair, it's not even because Krauser has the full ass compound bow, so the crossbow
Yes.
is just Ada's. So this was added with the new mercenaries update too. So yeah, it is a brand new gun.
Okay, I think her initial pistol too is new.
The Blacktail.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Is it just the black tail?
Yeah, it's just.
I
The
feel like
Blacktail.
it looks. Oh no.
It's like how you can use the Red 9 even though
Yeah.
it's Luis's.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know the names of all these guns. Kind of cool.
Yeah, the Matilda.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, the Punisher. Yeah, I could just list these guns on
Okay.
and on and on.
Does the Merchant's shooting gallery make an appearance in this or not?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it at all.
Unfortunate. But that's also fine if it's meant to be played through like quickly.
I mean, all the charms are for sale in his shop, so I don't think that there would be any point because there's no shooting gallery tokens.
Yeah.
You don't pick up any
Nothing
gold
for
or
the-
silver tokens in the world, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal. It's actually quite all right.
All right. Overall, positive experience.
So far.
Yeah.
Gonna wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
I am hoping that the ending will completely shape and change the face of Resident Evil in the way that I was saying, where it goes in a totally new direction, so I can be like, I was right. Resident Evil 5 can can go kick rocks. It's done for.
5 and 6.
No
Ouch.
remake.
We're going straight 4 to 7.
Not even to 7. I'm just saying, completely new timeline, completely divergent path.
Oh, you don't even care about like.
Don't even continue the main. So the main series can do its own thing in that world, and then the remake world
I
can,
see, I
can
see.
have its own chronology. It doesn't have to follow it. These characters already are so drastically different from the ones featured in 2 and 3 and 4
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it makes no sense to put the characters as they are now in these same situations.
I can't imagine. Well,
I can't.
no,
see
I truly
that
cannot
unfolding.
imagine. Yeah, this Leon, like becoming Matt
In
Mercer
6.
Leon in 6.
Mr. President.
President!
No, you said you'd never turn into a zombie, and yet here you are.
You're my best friend, Mr. President. Damn it! Yeah.
What am I gonna tell Ashley?
It's not even Ashley's dad. That's the thing.
That's so funny.
Some
it's not.
other president. Yeah, it's not President Graham. It's like, who is this fool?
So who cares? Who's that?
That's the funnier thing. Yeah.
You're my best friend, Leon. I don't even know you.
Yeah. I always trusted you, Leon.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
Because I worked for the Secret Service, I guess.
Oh, because my last name, right? Yeah.
Grassy Knoll. I like it, Kennedy.
Kennedy, I want you to be the first reverse Kennedy. It comes down to it. I want you to take the shot.
I trust you
right
have
here.
the magic bullet, yeah. Oh, man. I don't want to sound like a psychopath. It's like, I don't even feel bad about making jokes about
Please.
the Kennedy assassination.
Who cares?
But
It happened before we were even a thought.
Pretty far
in this
removed.
world.
You know.
It's almost been 100 years. Think I was gonna be there at the 100-year anniversary, crying?
You're gonna bring this clip up, be like, you're
wringing their
canceled.
hands with a big napkin,
Right.
dabbing at their
Oh my
eyes.
god. Anyways, that's separate ways. Resident Evil 4, great game. Game of the year potential for sure. Any closing
say
thoughts
so.
on it? Yeah.
Any closing thoughts? I'm gonna go on a limb and say I think I like the whole thing. I'm gonna assume that I'll enjoy the entire thing.
Yeah, it adds to the experience. You know, separate ways. You know, just
And I hope that I'm right, and I hope that it does completely change the series in a brand new and exciting way. Already, it's different. The fact that Wesker is there, present during action, is a massive
that actually
change.
was a surprise to me. So very cool. Hearing that from you, so seeing it for myself will be interesting.
Yeah. Too bad you denied yourself that right by saying I
know.
could say whatever I wanted.
That's fine. You know, I went to go eat dinner like right before that moment would have happened.
Yeah, in separate ways, Leon dies.
Shit, truly a separate way. Fucking. Last thought from me personally is like value wise, pretty chill. It's $10,
Pretty good.
right?
And a new soundtrack, too.
Yeah,
Which I would say is better than the default soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It's got kind of that like little flair to it, that spy flair.
exactly. Yeah. Speaking of which, is her Mercenaries theme the same as it was in the original game?
I don't think so. I
Okay,
think it's like a remix.
Because I like this. I like the theme in the remake now. Because it's very like. It gives you a different vibe, you know. Like I'm chilled out doing this instead of I'm fighting for my life right now.
Yeah, no, hers
Kind
was
of
the same
vibe,
way
yeah.
the original. But this is like a rearrangement or a remix of that one or
Sure, yeah.
something. You know,
Mhm.
they gotta touch it up.
Nice. All right. And then moving on. If you want to, or we can take questions. You know, I leave it to you.
Well, we'll see what we're gonna talk about else. We got Kiwami.
We got what we've been playing because I've also been playing another piece of DLC, which was Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty.
Yeah.
I'll spare you the dump since I know you're not super into it. But for those that do enjoy Cyberpunk, the 2.0 update, it's like a rebalance of the game's systems and mechanics, which is cool.
So you would say that this is Cyberpunk's Realm Reborn.
A little bit, if you want to like.
So I'm gonna have every person I know telling me
It's
"No,
good
it's
now."
so good. It's good now.
That
you
is
can
gonna-
play
that is gonna
mahjong in it.
Yeah, that is going to be. I'm sure that'll be the discourse.
That would actually compel me if they added mahjong. If they had Ricci
Unfortunately-
mahjong.
Unfortunately, no mahjong. But yeah, it's cool. It definitely like adds a lot of the promise, you know, the initial promise of like a reactive game world, and like they've even like enhanced narrative beats a little bit, which I noticed because I had a character that was max level, right, but I hadn't finished the main scenario as him, so I hopped back in, and then it like made me respec, which was kind of annoying because it's like, oh, everything, like all the stat progression
Like the
is
whole
different
game
now.
is different.
Yeah, so it's like rebuild. It just refunded me, so I got to level up to 50 again. But it was like, fuck, I like my
Like,
old
why
build.
bother?
Yeah,
If you're already
but
all maxed out, it doesn't matter. You're just like, yeah, everything here max, everything here max, everything here max.
it was a little bit of that, but to their credit, they've made combat more dynamic. They added like more active abilities instead of really like trivial kind of like
mash.
2% bonus damage. Now you can like, yeah, you can use your gorilla arms to smash someone's skull in or pick them up, which is
dude.
hilarious. You like throw bodies at people.
the things that I want to see.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy the new potential and possibilities that they added. And the thwack of throwing a body against something, I noticed, is just so like it's like a wet, like squelching punch.
You would think it would be harder since they have all that metal shit in them.
Yeah, right. But hilariously, it reminds me of the punch sound from Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines, like when you just swing.
Oh, like swap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that sound when you like throw
Like
a body.
hamburger on a wall.
It's very very odd. Yeah. So as far as the main game's mechanics go, it's a cool reworking. It definitely makes it more compelling to go back to. With the DLC,
How would you say it is compared to the launch version? Better?
launch?
Worse?
I mean, you already know. I'd be a moron if I said like I preferred the posterity
The
of
OG, the
Cyberpunk's
classic.
initial build. No, I think the initial build was bugged. Like I think my initial run, the ending cutscene, like there was weird dialogue that did not correspond to any of my choices. It's like, huh?
They just pulled a Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
There was only one ending, no matter what you did.
Why did that happen? But I'm sure it'll be different now. With the DLC, this is my last kind of bit about it. Because what I was worried about most is that Idris Elba would like do the celebrity appearance in a game kind of thing. But thankfully, he's competent enough of an actor where it's like, oh, this isn't too bad.
He actually put in effort instead of being like, I am collecting a check.
Yeah, it's me, String a Bell. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so it's interesting. It is funny hearing him like use in-universe lingo like Choom and like talking about like the corporations like
Cyber
Militech,
Psycho and all that
yeah.
shit. You're like,
Yeah.
well, Knuckles the Echidna would never say this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unless he was talking about Metal Sonic.
That Cyber Psycho going after those Chaos Emeralds. Yeah. But thankfully, not horrible. Excited to see where that goes. I'll update you if it's really like earth-shattering, but that's just what I've been at.
As soon as I am done with Witcher 2 and 3,
There you go.
I will think about it.
There you go. That's enough for me. And what about you? What else have you been playing aside from Separate Ways?
Exclusively Yakuza Kiwami 2, finally.
Wonderful.
I just had the urge. I sold all my Steam trading cards that I forgot I had. Made like not enough money to brag about, but enough to get a game on sale.
Not negligible? Okay, that's
I had
epic.
a lot of cards.
I feel like I have a lot of cards, but I don't
just
think.
sell them all. Just get rid of them.
All right, yeah.
Are you ever going to use them? I was
No.
looking at my inventory and I thought, why do I have all this?
Yeah.
I don't care about any of this. But yeah, I was able to get Yakuza Kiwami 2 on sale, and I think it's great. I remember not getting it for a long time because I had Kiwami 1, and I felt like it was kind of slow. And the sub-stories weren't really compelling.
Kiwami
So-
1 is low on the tier list for me.
I lost interest pretty quick.
Yeah,
I
which
know
is
it's the
crazy.
first game. It's the Godfather and all that. But
Yeah, but coming after Zero, it's a little underwhelming.
yeah, because Zero's made with like the modern Yakuza fan in mind. They know that people want they can go a little crazy with the story and people won't really bat an eye. And the sub stories especially. Whereas in Yakuza 1 or in Kiwami, the sub stories mostly feel like Wouldn't it be crazy if Kiryu had to deal with a guy who couldn't wipe his ass? Wouldn't it be crazy if Kiryu had to
They are very
buy a drink
kind
for a
of-
child? Not a vending machine?
Yeah, right. Just go to the 7-Eleven and get me a thing.
Yeah, I'm
Kind of-
thirsty. Here you go. Thanks. And
Thanks,
it's like
here's
sub-story
300
complete.
yen.
And you're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? Real already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Kiwami 2,
the side
they're
story
also
music.
kind of oddly short, but there's some good ones, like the ring tape. Seb story actually jump scared me.
Yeah,
When
the
she shows
haunted,
up on the
yeah,
TV.
yeah.
And you just cuts to Kiryu's like, what the hell?
Huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Weird. So that
Yeah.
yeah, but Kiwami 2, they definitely, it has the sub stories that actually they put a little bit more effort in. It's got the famous one, the baby boss, the boss baby,
Boss baby. Yeah.
Patriarch
Diaper adults.
Gandawara, yeah, diaper adult. Not to besmirch any boss babies in the audience who might be listening. Diaper adult is what I meant. But yeah, it's got a better taste, a better flavor. You can go straight into the sub games too, which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, there's no way.
Even in 7, you had to wait until I feel like chapter 3 or 4
Yeah.
to really get
Yeah.
into any of the side content. And I think by chapter 6, you got pretty much everything unlocked. Chapter 5, yeah. Even before then, Mahjong is accessible as soon as you get to Sotenbori, so big smile for me.
Big smile for me.
Big smile for me.
With original Yakuza 1 and 2, did you ever play the PS2 releases or any emulator
No,
of those?
The first game I played was 4.
That's
as
right.
I've said
That's right,
once or
yes.
twice.
But
which
you
is
never
why
went
I
back
never-
to like try the originals.
Never gave a shit about Kiryu until 0, even though he was the protagonist.
So funny, dude.
I just did not care about him.
That's
He was not, because that's the problem when the character is so established and been through so many games and so many things. The developers like, okay, well, we don't have to introduce
We don't
Kiryu
need to.
again.
Yeah, we
People
don't really need
get
to make
it.
him have an arc anymore.
And
yeah,
I'm just like,
it's
yeah, I'm really into this Akiyama guy. This is the
Yeah.
protagonist of the series. That's awesome. And that's like, who the fuck's this?
That's so
Yeah.
funny. Well, at least you get 2 games where you can play as Akiyama, right?
Yeah, 4 and
he's,
5.
He's the only side character that gets an appearance in 2 of them, other than like Majima, I suppose. Oh, and
Yeah.
Taiga.
And Taiga's actually still prominent. He's in 7.
Yeah, but playable. I guess if he joins your party, I don't know if he does, but
No, he's a summon.
yeah. Oh,
But
that's cool.
Akiyama is not.
Yeah. Do you plan on like subsequently? Are you gonna play Yakuza 3 remastered? It's a weird jump from the Dragon
I
Engine back
don't-
down to original.
I don't think I will. I never played 3, and from everything I know, 3 is inferior to 4
1 and 3 are on the
every-
bottom of my tier list. I will
every
say.
conceivable way. Because it's the first HD Yakuza, and it's also got the smallest map, right? It's like the little town.
The little
by-
coastal town in
Yeah.
Osaka or whatever.
And
I like it a lot.
Kamurocho, but it's
and
like
Kamurocho, yeah.
it's not quite as lively as the one in,
In
4.
4, yeah, yeah.
4,
it's the single level.
I feel like
Kamurocho,
they never
yeah.
got to that level. Because 5, they took away the rooftops and the underground.
I think
right?
they're still there, but they don't have all the content. Right? They're just
'cause
like
it's 5
thoroughfares.
cities, isn't it? In 5.
I don't think it's 5 cities. It's just
It's
5
like-
stories. But there's a few because Taiga has
There's more
a
than one
city
city.
in this. Yes.
4 is only Kamurocho, but with
Oh,
4
maybe
at
it is
least they were
5
like.
fucking cities.
I'm pretty sure it's 5 cities. I think that one of the selling points is like 5 protagonists, 5
Akiya-
cities.
Well, oh, okay, but it's like Kamurocho, Sotenbori, right? That's 2 of them.
I think
'cause-
isn't Haruka's the coastal town or something?
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, the baseball guy has his own, and then Taiga has 2. He goes through
There's a
2.
mountain also.
There's the mountain section, and then just the snowy area where he can roll people in the snowman. Crazy ass game. I
but
like 5 a lot though. It's
5,
definitely like
5 is like
Yeah.
the probably the best example of
oh,
just
and then
like,
Kiryu's fucking city. Yeah, but I
Either-
spent the least time in that city.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like not. If it was in any other game, I would call it unnecessary bloat, but it's 100% necessary for Yakuza.
I actually do thoroughly enjoy like the story beats of 5, the characters of 5. You know.
The story does not matter to me at all.
Oh man, it's some good shit.
As I'm playing through Kiwami 2, I'm realizing that the story is probably the least important thing in a Yakuza game.
Wow, you don't care about those bonds?
I think Ryuji is more interesting of an antagonist than Nishiki.
He's a fan favorite. Nishikiyama? Wow,
Yeah.
that's fair. 10 years in the
Because
joint did make you a
Nishiki-
fucking pussy.
Even with 0, and the added like, why is Nishiki a dickhead now? Scenes, the way he acts is still insane.
It's very
and
suddenly evil.
Does not at all match the character we were introduced to in Zero, despite their best efforts.
Yeah,
and
his insane
I
inferiority
think trying to
complex.
portray that by having him kill a guy and then do the Aizen hair with his blood
Pretty epic.
doesn't really have the same effect as
Pretty epic.
showing a bit more things happening instead of him being like, I'm gonna be evil now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. I will give you that. The story is not the most important. But
Right.
I think it hits when it hits. It hits, but there's so much stupid bullshit as well.
Well, I think
these
that's
games.
also just kind of a consequence
Yeah.
of the series going on, you know, because they didn't have the whole backstory for Kiryu and Nishiki, you know. They weren't planning on Yakuza 0 existing when they made the first game.
Yeah.
They were just like, these guys were best friends, and he betrayed him and took his girl and his life. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
You know, and you play through 0, and you're like, this is your dearest, closest friend. What could have caused him to take this turn? And then it's the same exact reason as in the
It's
original
very
game.
strange, yeah. Okay. And with Kiwami 2, you're not super far in the main story because you don't.
Haven't been paying attention. I've been frankly spending hours as a cabaret club host, doing the RTS, which is really just kind of waiting for pro wrestlers to beat the shit out of 1,000
Majima Construction. Hell yeah.
faceless NPCs.
Yeah. The New Japan.
So every single unit is a pro wrestler.
There you
right?
go, yeah.
It's not like a Yakuza series staple.
It started with this one, yeah.
I realized that when what was his fucking name? At first I didn't get it. I was like, Three Musketeers, like, oh, these like 3 old Japanese actors. Then that guy Chono shows up and he just starts speaking in English. He's like, God damn, I am Chono. Like, oh, he's a pro wrestler.
Yeah, their outfits
He's,
don't give it away. Fucking hell. And their
The
beautiful
Flash-
tans.
And I was like, I guess
Funny
it's just
shit.
what realtors are like in Japan.
That's funny. That is a good one. Have you touched the Majima side content at all? Like
I did the
his
first chapter.
actual thing. Okay.
This is essentially the Zero sequel that they were trying to hook people with when they announced Kiwami 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember all the promotional materials, like, oh, remember the blind girl?
Remember Makoto? Yeah.
He cured her blindness
Makimura,
with the power of love, but he gave it all up for Taiga, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, I haven't seen her at all yet. I just got through the first chapter because I've been pursuing the main story. So I just saw him own that guy who showed up for one chapter to be like, I want to be the president of Yakuza.
The guy that's voiced by Dio.
Yeah, and then Majima immediately owns him by bringing in like $12 billion.
Yeah.
And the next time you see him, he's dead.
Maybe I might be confusing with another character, but yes.
No, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the PowerPoint guy.
Yeah.
You're talking about evil PowerPoint.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's as far as I got. I got to see the Young and the Reckless got shot in the head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's the guy with the scar on his face. He's kind of like discount. What's his name? The guy, Kiryu's other father figure with the scar on his face.
Oh,
he dies in 3, I
fucking
think.
hell. Oh, I see his face. Kashiwagi?
Kashiwagi.
Yeah.
He's like younger discount Kashiwagi.
Yeah.
He dies in.
Uncool Kashiwagi, yeah.
He throws a tantrum and then he dies.
Yeah. I will say, so I played through that content. I was excited for it when it came out, like, oh man. But I honestly couldn't tell you what happened, even when they had their reunion.
I have no idea. I mean,
Right?
I don't
She gives him
really-
a foot massage, I think. And he's like,
And
oh!
he's like, this is the worst experience of my life. Don't ever talk to me again. She's like, why? And he's like, get out of here. Get away from me, you brute. He's like, tears in his eyes.
Yeah, basically. I think
His
that
little henchman's like, Majima, why? You
Majima's
loved me. He's
so
like,
right.
she could never
she can't
she could
do
never
that.
accept a Yakuza like me.
Not in this
A
world.
damned soul.
Yeah.
Then you go to the karaoke booth and sing 24 Hour Cinderella.
That's the thing. I don't think you can do karaoke as Majima in this. Like,
Really?
The side content is so limited as him, which
I
was a
Thought
bummer.
about it,
Yeah.
but I forgot to do it before the chapter ended.
I
and
think
then
you can
didn't
go to the
say.
arcade right?
You can.
But I don't think you can do karaoke or anything like that.
Yeah, I noticed there's no leveling system or anything. Which is like, okay, sure. I mean, you just have the Mad Dog style that works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the Dragon Engine, transitioning to that from the old ones, how do you like that? Because this is your first entry in it.
Well,
Although you
Judgment
played
was
Judgment.
also yeah.
So you played what came after.
I do miss style shifting. I will say that. I feel like fights are really, really easy. For the most part, because you just kind of charge up the guard break first punch, and then you punch him.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if the game glitched or what, but I cheesed out the Komaki fight. I just grabbed him and just kept punching him in the head, and he was like stun locked, so he just never broke out of it. Because you know how he goes into different forms, like the longer you fight him. I just grabbed him at the very start because he has no defenses. Kept hitting him. He never changed into his next form, so he just died. I went through like 7 health bars.
That's so funny.
And I cleared that side quest super easy.
Wow. That's fucked up. Well, congratulations, though. That's awesome.
That's how it went.
Okay. Yeah, with
great game.
Right. I was gonna say with the moveset, I feel like the Dragon Engine, you just kind of start like relying on like that big wide swing when you grab someone, and then like when
it's just kind of limited.
Pulls you into those long animations, that are kind of QTEs.
Is limited.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember which came first, if it was 6 or Kiwami 2, but I feel like there was. Okay, then hilariously,
6 was the first Dragon Engine game.
Yeah, and hilariously, I think Kiwami 2 is like an upgrade even of that. But Judgment, that brought back style switching.
Yeah, I think I played Last Judgment. I'll get around to it.
Yeah, because the Guidance coming out this month.
Looks
right?
great,
Holy
plays
shit.
great. Very, very excited for it.
Yeah,
very good. 10 minutes I got to enjoy. Even
Mm.
just the addition of a style, but the style is so radically different, that it's worth it.
Yeah. Incredibly, we are approaching the end of our time limit tonight.
All right, questions.
Shall we? Do our one question. I suppose.
Don't we have 2 questions?
Oh,
yeah, whatever.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Start from Human. We're answering these questions.
Hey man, we're just going out. We're going crazy, just trying to get. Next question.
Yeah. Favorite cryptid and why? From
That's a
viewer.
tough one.
Tom Blippo asks.
Well, you go first.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm tempted to go something basic like the Mothman from an aesthetic standpoint.
I was going to say the Mothman also, but that's just because of Shin Megami Tensei.
Right? Or maybe if I wanted to go Disco Elysium reference, I like the Insulindian Phasmid.
Oh, right. You don't like the gnome of Genoa or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Right. I can hear it. Because my shivers is so high.
What else? All those fake things.
All those other cryptids? What, like the Loch Ness Monster? Is that technically a cryptid?
No, I was thinking like the giant list that Lena gives you.
Oh!
One of them, she actually
was like racist as fuck.
She's insanely racist.
Oh,
and
the
Kim's just
clever gorilla!
Yes. Yeah, she's like, the clever gorilla is similar to a human. Is not
like this guy.
Like your Seoulite friend here.
Are so wild.
See, Kim, I knew you weren't human.
What a game.
What a game. Anyways.
Yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Favorite cryptid, maybe the Mothman.
The
Mothman? From Shin Megami Tensei. Is Jack Frost a cryptid?
I don't know. Are any of those enemies? Do they? No. No, some of those are like they're just mythological.
No, I guess no British person has ever been like, I saw Jack Frost nipping my nose. It's fallen clean off.
Exactly. All right, and that brings us to the end of tonight's episode. Incredibly, we filled out the time.
We did. We almost went over, but
we always surprise ourselves these nights.
Gotta get that premium. Okay, all right. Rapid fire. We gotta do the plugs.
Do you want to take it away?
Right. So, check out the Thought Cops episode we were just on. If you want to see us speaking to 2 other people, Grant and Kevin have been on before. Very acclaimed comedians, writers, podcasters, etc. That's something you could enjoy, possibly with a different setup, different audio, different content. You could be like, wow, check it out. Not too bad. Follow us on X, Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, Twitch. You can find us on Blue Sky at Video Ditch, that whole tag, whatever it is. I don't remember. You know what it is. Blue Sky Social, I think. Twitter, Somebody Stop Me is what I am on everything. Twitter, Twitch. He is the
that's right.
Samicom.
Super Samicom.
So you can check that out.
Yeah.
And lastly, we are having the first ever community event, which I forgot to mention at the beginning, I think. The Scary Story Contest, where everyone can write some stories and send them in, and I'll read them, and the audience and myself, we can tally up the votes and decide who had the best one, who's deserving of the coveted Scary Storyteller Best of the Lot #1 Can't Be Defeated role that I will create. Plus some other prize that I'll determine later. Probably going to be a scary game.
Wonderful.
From a list that I'll make up when I remember to do that. So be on the lookout for that. Have your most creative mind at the ready.
Yeah.
Electrons flow from each brain cell.
Exactly.
Think
I'm
of
gonna
your
go full
scariest creepypasta.
Hunter S. Thompson mode on this, The S is for scary.
I'm gonna go Hunter x Hunter.
Oh shit. That'll probably win. As always, thank you folks for listening. We have been Video Ditch. We will see you next time.
See you then.